From Loss to Life.
From Loss to Life.
What's your story?
After dealing with the loss of comfort, in 2019, at the end of 2019, at 29 years old, after 2 years of living in the Bay Area, I became a homeowner. And as much of a blessing as that has been and that it is, it came at a cost. And it came in the most unexpected way. In 2021, I became a homeowner, not 2019. In 2019, I moved to the Bay Area. But I moved here and had a family. I had a comfort zone. I had, a place to live, to look out into the entire Bay. It was beautiful. I had a good job. I had a car. I had all these things that felt like I was living the life, the best life. And in June of 2021, my godparents came to me and said, "We're moving to Atlanta." And as excited as I was for them, it also was a realization that I was going to be out on my own. And having to accept that change, I instantly went into survival mode of trying to figure out where was I going to live, how was I going to make it happen, did I have enough money to even survive on my own. And God spoke to me because he said to me, "You remember that time before you moved out here where you were talking to your godmom and you were like, before I, move out there, I would love to be able to purchase a home." Well, baby, it's time. And with that came a lot of rolling emotions, really having to lean into trusting God that he could cover me and that he would provide. And it took me back to the moment before I moved to the Bay Area where I lived in Indianapolis. I was making $30,000 a year. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get to the Bay. It's where I want to live. It's where I want to be. But I don't make enough. And I was reminded that God has done more with less. And in that moment, I embraced that feeling and started looking for a home. This one that you see me sitting in now. And it's funny because this particular home was the first home that I saw on Zillow before I started looking really hard. And it had been on the market for about 30 days by the time I actually was able to see it. With that, the person who owned this home prior to me having it was a little bit not all the way there. And I didn't know this, and this is part of the reason why the home was on the market for as long as it was. But it was a roller coaster of trying to put in an offer and then trying to decide, could they stay for 30 days? Could they stay for 60 days? What was that whole journey? Not to go into a whole bunch of detail because it's not really relevant, but it was a tussle between me and my realtor, Des, just trying to work with them to be able to get me in here in a sustainable time. Because of that, we ended up doing a 30-day rent-back situation, which displaced me for a certain amount of time, and I was bouncing between the homes of one of my other moms out here, between my friends, and I was very grateful to have that opportunity to have people that could hold me while I was in transition. And also while I was in transition, staying at my friend's house, I had my tires stolen off of my car, which apparently is a normal thing in the Bay Area. It's not normal where I'm from. But my tires were stolen off of my car, lug nuts, the hub, everything. And so I had to get those replaced, but the insurance company came together and, I ended up paying a lot less. Once I finally moved into my home, the washer drain had to be repiped because when it was put together, it was done incorrectly. So what was nice about that situation in the long run, even though it was stressful to me in the moment of trying to go through the pace of learning and trying to figure out how to navigate what it meant to be a homeowner and take on these new responsibilities, her rent-back check came when it was time for it to get fixed. So the amount of time that I thought I was going to have to wait and build up more savings, because I spent most of it in just trying to move in here, the provision came. And God just kept showing those different things along the way as I became a new homeowner. So I've been in my home for about 3 months now. And when I came back from Christmas, I had water in my kitchen drain, our kitchen sink, because my upstairs neighbor's water was draining into my kitchen sink. And that ended up being taken care of by the HOA because it wasn't an issue that was actually within my unit. So that was also something that was really a blessing to me, of God continuing to show me that he had me along the way. I learned a lot of things about being a homeowner and that journey of bouncing from house to house, having my tires stolen, not really sure of where I was going and what I was supposed to be doing and if it was even the right thing for me. But the primary thing was that every new level is going to cost you something. And we get to choose how we respond, react, and adapt to these different scenarios. For me, it was going into survival mode and trying to have everything together. But I found that it was necessary for me to slow down and to experience each piece, because it was requiring me to lose my need for a safety net. It was requiring me to let go of the people that I had in my life that were holding me. Not that they were gone for good, but that I had to be an adultier adult, that I had to adapt to the new responsibilities. During this journey, I happened to come across a young man who asked me this question that said, or he asked me how I was treating my day. You know, most people are like, how are you? You know, how's your day treating you? But he said to me, how are you treating your day? And it caught me by surprise because it was also in the middle of everything that was going on, of me not knowing where I was going to live, what I was going to do, where I was going to get the money from. Little did I know that the money I had made just being a graphic designer and creative consultant from 2020 to 2021 is what purchased this home, and the faithfulness when God told me to start in 2020, and that's a story for another day, which we can talk about in the small groups. But that question, how are you treating your day, gave me the reminder that I'm in control of how I respond to what happens, and I get to decide at the beginning of my day how I'm going to move through it. That I have that autonomy to do so, and that things are going to happen all through the day, regardless of how you treat the whole day, a certain moment, a certain hour, a certain minute. We have that power and that will to be able to respond and react and decide who and what we're going to be. And so when I think about the life part of being a homeowner now, one, I have a home. I have a roof over my head. I have a lovely couch that just came. I have decorations. I have my own space that I haven't necessarily had before. I've had spaces and within other people's spaces, but I've never actually had my own space, that everything in it, I got to decide what it's going to be. I have a little bit more autonomy in what I choose to do and where I choose to go and with whom I choose to be with, in a way that I hadn't also had before. I think I always managed my life around other people and the authoritative figures that I have, and just really trying to fall into line where now I am the author of my story, and I've always been the author of my story, but now I'm fully the author of my story, and that's a beautiful thing. I recently came across a tweet that a friend, well, I like to call her my internet friend because I've never actually met her, but there is a young woman who lives in Jersey who I've been following on Twitter for quite some time, and we always seem to be in sync. But she tweeted something the other day that said, slowing down is an act of faith. I've got nothing but time, space, and grace to savor every blessing. And it moved me because it tied into this, like, how are you treating your day thing, but also in my lesson of becoming a homeowner, one of the things that I had to do was slow down and really just be present, because I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know anything about owning a home. I didn't get to go through the benefit of taking a home ownership class or taking my time, because I was on time crunch. I needed somewhere to live like yesterday. And that's how I felt. So being able to slow down and really just be present and be here was something that I gained in seeing this tweet recently, but also that I remembered in the motion of trying to find a home. It was something that people kept telling me along the way, and I was just like, you all just don't understand what I'm going through. But it was something that was true, that I just had to slow down and just let things occur. So what I'll leave you with, because I have no idea where I am on time, what I'll leave you with is that you have the opportunity to visualize how you move through your days, especially through a loss, at a loss, after a loss. You know, in order to get back to the life part, you have to live. And you get to choose how you are going to live. You get to visualize how you're going to have an incredible day. I actually found this in my little thing. And it's actually a quote by Robin Howard that says, take time first thing to visualize your incredible day. So I keep that on my desk. I'm going to make it a quote to go in my bedroom. But you get to treat your day, your moments, your hours, however you're going to treat them. You get to move with pace and grace. Pace and grace. There's no reason to go fast. No reason to go fast, because that also is an act of faith. Take your time. Your answers will come. My internet pastor, Michael Todd, said for this year, here is holy. You know, that's the phrase of the year. That's how we're moving. Here is holy. It's okay to be right here. We're always rushing to get there, but we can focus on being right here. So focus on having pace and grace, and then take strong, small steps. Strong, small steps, because progress is better than perfection, and just moving a little bit will get you where you need to go and going along the way. So yeah, that's what I have.